You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 248, How to Set Monthly Intentions to Build Your Bigger and Better Life. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, Breakup Coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. Hey, Bravehearts. So excited to be here with you today. I want to talk about intention setting, and how can we apply them to breakups, getting over your ex, and most importantly, how can we apply intention setting to building your bigger and better life? Because that is the best thing ever. I have personally been setting intentions now for about a year and a half, or at least weekly intentions. I think I've set intentions my whole life, just in different ways for different time periods. But it's been amazing having like consistent weekly intentions. And it's just so cool to see the power of an intention and what it can do. Because I think I underrated intentions when I first learned about them. I was like, of course, aren't we always setting intentions? Absolutely. But just setting an intention can help you shift so much. Sometimes it's just about setting the intention of, I'm open to shifting my energy here, or I'm open to seeing this differently, or I'm open to changing my thoughts about this. It doesn't even need to be concrete or super clear. You just know like you want to feel differently. It starts there. And when you start there, it really creates a cascade of events that changes everything in your journey. And it's so fun to see. Now, because I've been setting up weekly intentions for a while now, when I started the Bigger and Better Life Mastermind, which is it's a mastermind for Bravehearts who are completely over their ex and they want to amplify the journey they're on and, look at how do we take everything that we've learned in terms of getting over our ex and build our bigger and better life in a really epic way within a certain time frame. And we work together for 6 months. It's so fun. I love it. So when I was setting up this Bigger and Better Life Mastermind, I thought, inside of there, we've got to be doing weekly intention setting. And we started that from the very beginning, and it's been fire. These ladies are changing so quickly because every single week they're setting up their intentions. They're looking at what is super clear for them. What are they going to be working on for this week? What is the belief they're believing? And what are 3 massive action ways they're getting to work towards that goal? So I thought, what would be fun is if we started doing something similar to this in the Get Over Your Ex program. And we started that this month, which is July, and the first, month's coaching call, we spent like the first 15 to 20 minutes really reviewing and looking at what are my intentions for July when it comes to getting over your ex, building your bigger and better life. And we did this using 2 very specific tools. So I figured I'd share them here with you so you can do them at the beginning of August. The first tool we used is the thought model. I'm not going to teach like the whole thought model in today's episode, but I'm going to give you an outline or a structure to really help you work your way through this. Some of you might already know of this. Some of you might not. It's totally fine. But it's really here to help you build awareness around what you're thinking in a tangible and practical way. So you first look at number 1, what were the results I created last month? In terms of getting over my ex or building my bigger and better life, right? Knowing what created your current results gives you so much insight into what is working, but even more importantly, what's not working, right? The second thing you do is look at what actions did I take last month that cultivated and created those results. Some of these actions might be things that you like, or some of these actions might be things you dislike. So perhaps you reached out to your ex and it created a result of increased desire and attachment. Perhaps you spent time scrolling the social media or just ruminating about your ex a lot. You want to include all those actions, but also include the positive highlights of I made time and space to commit to doing the work in the Get Over Your Ex course. So you journaled every day, you did one of the exercises every day, and you meditated every day. And those would also be things you outline in the actions you took, the behaviors you had, how you were showing up in the world. Then you look at what were the feelings that drove me to take those kinds of actions. And remember, feelings are one-word emotions. There should be no sentences in there. It should all be one-word emotions like motivated, inspired, or defeated, disappointed, shameful, right? And then what were your thoughts? What were the optional stories I had about myself and my life that led to a lot of those feelings that I was experiencing? Now that might look like a paragraph or a list of thoughts, right? A list of those things that you were thinking about yourself or your life that made you feel the way you were feeling that led to the actions you were taking. Looking at this overall for last month, this gives you a baseline of what kind of month are we coming off of, right? What do we want to carry into the next month versus what would we like to release and let go of as we move into this new month, right? Once you've outlined that, then you're going to do the same thing for your upcoming month. You can call it a blueprint of who do I need to become to create the results I actually desire in my life, specifically when it comes to getting over your ex and building your bigger and better life, right? Because remember, who you are becoming is more important than the outcomes you are creating. So wild. I'm going to remind you this so many times, okay? It is so much more important that you become the version of you who's over your ex, that you become the version of you who has your bigger and better life, okay? Because then it makes the outcome inevitable. And so to be able to have that outcome, you actually need to act like that version of you, feel like that version of you, and think like that version of you. So that's kind of the blueprint you're creating right now. So if the result you'd like to create is, I'm over my ex, what actions do you need to take? What actions do you need to not take? What are the things you need to not be doing? What do you need to feel to be able to show up and do those things? And what do you need to believe and think about yourself or your life to feel that way? Now, when we're working on this in terms of your bigger and better life, I want you to get a little bit more specific. I don't want you to put bigger and better life in your in your results area of this, because the problem with that is when you don't know what the result is clearly, it's hard to be like, what are the things that I do to create it and how would I feel if I had it? Get clear about that. And I do one thing at a time. I know a lot of you probably might have like a lot of things you're working on that you want to do. Pick one focus for this month. It doesn't mean that you're not making progress on all the other areas. It just means we're going to make an intention for one of these right now, whether that's changing your career, making more money than your ex, finding your new lover or new partner, whatever area of your bigger and better life that you're working towards, make that the result you're going out to create, and then ask those questions of what actions do I need to take? What actions do I need to not take? What do I need to feel to be able to show up and do those things this month? And what do I need to believe about myself and about my life to feel that way, right? And a trick I love to do with this is going to the place where it's already done. If I was already over my ex, how would I be feeling and why? What would I be doing? If I already had $1 million, how would I be feeling and why and what would I be doing? If I already had my own business and worked remote and, was able to do what I love for a living, how would I be feeling and why and what would I be doing and how would I think about myself? Same thing if I'm working on something in my bigger and better life, right? In the past, it was if coaching was my full-time gig. How would I show up and what would I be doing? I'd start doing those things and I'd actually start acting that way right then and now. I remember being like, I'd be on a lot of calls and I'd be helping people every day with a breakup. So every day I found a way to help someone with a breakup, even if I didn't have someone signed up for a call. How would I be feeling? Well, I'd be feeling proud and accomplished and successful. So what if I started feeling that way now? Right? And it was really helpful that I was doing the things that made me feel proud and accomplished and successful, right? That helped me feel that way, like helping people. And lastly, how does Dorothy think about herself when coaching is her full-time gig? And I started thinking about myself that way. And I remember being like, that's how I talk about myself, right? When people ask me what my job is, that's my job. I'm a breakup coach. And so I started introducing myself that way because I started thinking about myself that way. And when you start thinking about yourself in the way that you think that that version will think about you, you start also finding evidence for how it's true. And this is what I want you to do. You can do this, and you can do all those same things, right? I want you to walk through that. So remember, first things first, you've got your outline of the past month. What created the result of this past month? And then you've got an outline or a blueprint of what is my next month going to look like? What to create the result that I want next month? Who do I need to be? How do I need to think? How do I need to feel? And how do I need to act? So you've got two very clear, what we call thought models, okay? Now, the second tool I like to apply is something called Living Visions, which I actually learned from my previous coach, Jamie Berman, who shared a book called Life Visioning by Michael Beckwith. And what you do is you draw a heart in the middle of your journal page, and you write I am in the middle of the heart, and then make lines from that heart. And on each line, you write about the experiences and or feelings and emotions you are going to experience for that month. So for my July, I put, I am hydrated, safe, well-nourished, strong, flexible, and nimble. I am glowing and beautiful. That is one branch of July as an intention, because that is what I intend to feel and experience this month as I am moving into the third trimester of my pregnancy. Now, I have 7 other branches that have intentions around my bigger and better life that I'm working towards and currently experiencing. So you do that for each branch. Now, the beauty of doing this practice for me is, one, it connects me to my inner being. It forces me to slow down and stop just living day to day on autopilot, and it forces me to look at the bigger picture. Who am I authentically, and what do I want to experience, right? What did I experience last month versus what do I want to experience this month? Number 2, it also connects me to the universe and something bigger, a higher power, right? Now, for me, I love this because it makes me feel like I'm connected to the universe. I'm a part of it. We're co-collaborating. We're co-creating. And the way I visualize this is like I'm literally writing a letter to the universe saying, thank you for everything. And here's my order for this month. It's like placing my Starbucks order. If I don't send an order to the universe, how does the universe know what to give me? It's just going to continue to give me more of the same, whether I like it or not, because I haven't asked it for anything specific. Hence, intentions, my friends. Okay? So be direct, be intentional, and I want to see how it changes your experience of, 1, getting over your ex if that's what you're working on, but also 2, all of the specific things that you're building your bigger and better life on. So try this out, set it for this next month, DM me on Instagram at Breakup Coach Dorothy and tell me what happens. I would love to know what you decide on, what your intention is, and what you kind of see play out throughout the month because you set that intention. All right, my beautiful brave hearts, I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will talk with you next time. If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex in 3 months or less to build a life better than the one you thought you had with your ex, I would like to personally invite you to my next group course where we take everything you've learned here on the podcast and apply it to your life. Come check it out at www.lifecoachdorothy.com.